Hi guys, Tal here. In this video, we will see how Zero Touch PKI integrates with Microsoft Intune to provision certificates to the end user. Here I have my workstation that I'm going to join Azure Active Directory. As of now, I don't have any certificate on my machine. So let's go ahead and join this computer to Microsoft Active Directory. I will click on Connect through Access Work or School option, and here I will type my email. In this particular flow, I will have additional identity or account tied to my current username that log on to the system. You also, at the same flow, you can click on join this machine to Azure Active Directory. The main difference is that it will create a separate user, so you can log out and log in with this Azure Active Directory user. As you can see, this particular process, it's quite simple. From the end user standpoint, his machine is going to be registered with Active Directory. As soon as the account registered, let's see what we have in our copy store from certificate standpoint. So first let's check my local computer store. And you can see that I have a new certificate been created as a part of onboarding process. This is for my machine. And it's based on machine template. You can see that we have entire chain. So we also provision Zero Touch PKI root and issuing certificates to this box. Let's navigate to current user store and let's see what happened there. We see a certificate being issued by Microsoft Intune for client authentication. Later in this demo, we will provision a user certificate for Alan. But right now, let's jump to Azure and see what we need to successfully integrate Zero Touch PKI with Intune tenant. Once you're on Azure portal, the only real configuration that we need to do is through app registrations. Once you click on app registration, you will see number of applications that already been pre-configured in your tenant. So we will need to create one dedicated to Zero Touch PKI. In my case, I just call it SCAP integration with Zero Touch PKI. From this screen, you will need to note client ID and tenant ID. And then we will navigate to certificates and secrets, and you will create a new client secret. Take a note of value, secret value, because this is a part of onboarding. Whenever it comes to permission that we need for this particular application, take a note on the screen. This is exactly what you need. All these requirements came directly from Microsoft. So if you search Microsoft for third-party SCAP certificate management, this is what you will see there. Real quick on the flow itself. On the left side, you will see the Microsoft Intune that receive request for a mobile device to join Active Directory. It will check the policies and it will instruct mobile device to go ahead and provision a certificate. It will also deliver the URL for SCAP server. So the mobile device will reach out to SCAP server. The SCAP server will need to validate this request, and it does it against Azure Active Directory. And as a part of this authentication, this is where we're using these credentials that we just created in Azure portal. This allow SCAP server, Zero Touch PKI, to securely interact with Azure Active Directory. And if everything is okay, then number 5 and number 6 happen when SCAP server validates with Intune that indeed he can provision certificate to mobile device. And on step 7, this is where mobile device receive this certificate. So now let's do Intune configuration. Under Windows platforms, I see my only device that I just enrolled from Alan at authDemo.com, and I have this machine here. And let's see what profiles I created ahead of the time, so what this machine actually received. You can see the last two policy, it's a trusted certificate, and this is where I push root and issuing certificate to workstation, to a machine that just joined Azure Active Directory. Where I'm getting this certificate, if you go to Zero Touch PKI web interface and you navigate to certificate authorities, and from there you click on your certificate authority, you can see that you can copy issuing certificate, and if you scroll down a little bit you will see a root certificate, so you also can get certificate from here. So the first two templates, it's SCAP certificate being provisioned based on different templates. I have a template for machine and I have a template for a user. So machine template assigned to all devices already, and for this reason this machine just received the certificate. Let's go through SCAP configuration. Everything out of the box, very standard to Microsoft Intune configuration. The really only difference that you will need to know, the only value that you will need to know, is the SCAP server URL. I'm using staging environment, so my server starts Zero Touch PKI staging. In production is going to be zerotouchpki.venify.com. If I go back and I want to show you where this policy ID came from, this is where it came from. Under your account you will see policies and you will see the same policy ID that matches to Azure. Now obviously we need to pre-configure it, and for this reason we have this onboarding process. Here you can see for the user, very similar configuration, though from Microsoft Intune standpoint you define that it's going to be the user template and not machine template, and as such we have different fields in template. So here you can see that I have details that configure the common name, how it's going to look like, if it's modifiable. Also as a subject alternative name I have the email addresses for the user. And in my demo so far, if you can see that I don't have any assignment, and for this reason Alan did not receive his certificate so far. So let me change this policy, let me save it. Now I have a saved configuration. Let's navigate to Zero Touch PKI, and we want to see all certificates that were issued so far. We could wait 30 minutes, it's when synchronization cycles run, but to expedite it, let's go ahead and click on sync. As a result of the sync procedure, I expect a user certificate to my copy store. I refresh my Zero Touch PKI, you can see certificate here. I refresh my copy store and certificate appear in my copy store. So this is how integration works. I hope it was informative, and see you on my next video.